4 Lord of the Rings apps for exploring Tolkien's Middle-earth. J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth has been home to some of the most cherished fantasy novels in history. It's a setting that has drawn in fans for decades, both old and new alike. The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings being the most popular, and accessible, of his books. You can explore the world of hobbits, dwarves, and elves online with ease. You can also immerse yourself in the lore, language, and characters that make Tolkien's world so special. Here are some of the best Tolkien apps for fans of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Looking for a party app that you can use with your fellow Lord of the Rings fans? Then you need to download LotR Quiz, LotR being shorthand for Lord of the Rings. A free Tolkien app that is perfect for this sort of get-together. Simple to use, straightforward in its purpose, and fun to complete. This LotR app sets out to test you on your knowledge of the Lord of the Rings film adaptations by Peter Jackson. You can be tested on all of the films at once, or tested on each film individually. If you choose the right answer, the button you tap turns green. If you choose the wrong answer, the button turns red. There are a lot of questions per quiz, and answering each one is timed. If you don't answer before the clock counts down, the quiz will mark your score as 0, and move on to the next question. Once you're done the quiz, the app will show you your final score and add that tally to your overall statistics section. In general, the number of questions and attention to detail in this Lord of the Rings app are fantastic. As a Tolkien fan, I can happily report that the app seems to be designed by someone who has in-depth knowledge of the series. Unfortunately, LotR Quiz is only available on iOS. However, if you want an Android alternative, you can always check out FanQuiz for Lord of the Rings, which boasts some decent reviews. Elves are among the most enchanting of Tolkien's fantastical creatures, often depicted as superhuman in their abilities, in possession of a beautiful and magical language, and blessed by long life. It's no wonder that many fans of fantasy have become obsessed with these pointy-eared protagonists. If you count yourself among their fans, you may want to learn the elves' language, which is exactly what the app Elvenspeak lets you do, to a point. While this Tolkien app includes a date converter and 20-odd lessons that can help you learn how to speak Elvish, don't take it too seriously. Elvenspeak is not a dedicated language learning app like Duolingo. Want to learn a language free? These are the best free language learning apps that will have you speaking a new language before you know it. Instead, it's a casual tool to help fans dig deeper into Middle-earth lore so that they can express their enjoyment of it. The Elven Poker, Dictionary, Flash, and Writing sections of the app are inaccessible, only available for Elvenspeak Pro subscribers. While Elvenspeak offers in-game ads for a paid version of the app, that paid version no longer seems to be available in the App Store. As such, it's pretty clear that this app hasn't been updated in some time. So there are lots of bugs for certain features. Therefore, use Elvenspeak at your own risk. Overall, we're not too impressed with Elvenspeak. But if you're a die-hard Tolkien fanatic who wants a quick Middle-earth date converter on your iPhone, you should give it a shot. Additionally, there's Elfic, Elvish Translator and Sindarin Dictionary plus Phrasebook. Both of these apps are Lord of the Rings Android extensions that help you learn Elvish. The fact that the Lord of the Rings trilogy was filmed in New Zealand is no secret. In fact, the presence of this blockbuster ended up being a huge advantage to the tourist economy of that country. The free Middle-earth guidebook NZ app makes the exploration of these filming locations even easier. Basically, this app harnesses the power of Google Maps to give you a guided tour of each Middle-earth destination. When you click on these location markers, an info card will pop up. This card will give you the location's real-life name, the movie location's name, and a screenshot. Additionally, if you tap on the info card again, you will be taken to a second screen. On this second screen, you can find even more information. Here, you'll see, overall, this Tolkien app is a neat travel companion for anyone planning a Middle-earth-inspired trip to New Zealand. The main downside, it's only available for iOS. For those of you who are into both board games and LotR mobile games, Journeys in Middle-earth is where it's at. This Lord of the Rings mobile game is a companion app for a board game of the same name. So right up front, we should stress that while this app is fantastic to look at, it's only there to dictate the setup of each encounter, track your party's inventory and skills, and resolve combat. You need the board game for the full thing to work. Overall, this Lord of the Rings game app is a great one to use alongside the board game itself. However, because of its aforementioned reliance on the game, Journeys in Middle-earth will be a rather niche download. If you don't have the board game, you can buy Journeys in Middle-earth on Amazon. Download The Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth on Android, iOS, free. With in-app purchases available. J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth is still as popular as ever, which explains the number of Tolkien apps available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. None of these apps are complex or flashy. However, they do give you something fun to do when you're traveling, or having a Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit themed party with fellow Tolkien fans. Middle-earth is far from the only fantasy world worth exploring though. So whether or not you're a fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, check out the best 3D printables for tabletop fantasy RPGs. If you prefer an immersive experience for role-playing games, there's a new way to do it. Use 3D printing to create physical terrain pieces and miniatures. Text source, makeuseof.com.